Do you have music playing today, or? There you go.
The Tuesday group is not so thrilled about sounds and stuff.
Gotcha.
Oh, finally! My T emote has been approved. Why is it a white background? God damn it.
Well, to be fair, I kind of feel a Tuesday group about sounds.
I am going to have to look up how to, like, hand create some of these abilities so I can just get the Hexblade Curse to add my proficiency bonus to, whoever I curse whenever I drag it onto them.
You realize you're supposed to drag it onto you, right? I think.
No.
Yes,
Because
you are.
it's a buff. It's a buff to you. Because I think what happened last time.
It's a buff to me against a single creature.
Yes.
Right,
So you
but
drag
on
it onto
your
yourself
attack.
before you attack that target.
And then it triggers on your attack and targets the person that you attack. You see, when you did it last time, when that target that you dragged it on attacked, it used the charge of your spell. So you accidentally cast it on the wrong person. You cast it on the enemy as a buff to them.
Yeah, that
It's
is
a buff
actually correct.
spell.
I remember seeing the enemy doing like +8 damage, and I was like, "What the heck is that from?" And I was like, "Oh, Isaac."
All right.
Today's session is going to be an interesting one, I hope. I will preface it by saying that I did not make it. Nonetheless, with the help of the D&D guide and all that kind of stuff, I'm hoping that this will be a fun adventure. Hopefully.
I would like to move for a vote of no confidence.
Oh, that vote's already passed like 2 or 3 sessions ago.
Okay then.
Like, I personally don't understand why any of you listen to me. By the way, are you guys all on stream chat?
Yes.
I just see myself, Zim, and the Cobot as like the Pokemon dancing around. So I just thought like you weren't here, so I could swing. Oh, do you need to like actually talk in chat before your name shows up?
The name only shows up in chat if you have spoken recently. Or on the
Gotcha.
Pokemon. Otherwise, your Pokemon's still there. But that's to keep
Gotcha.
the names from the screen.
And normally we're so chatty before the session. Now it's just dead silence. It's kind of awkward.
Yeah, that's because I'm trying to figure out how to like streamline things that I'm using because Fantasy Grounds didn't.
Okay, well, there's about 5 more of us that could be holding a conversation. Debatably 6 if I count Zim.
It is streamlined the best that it could possibly be. Just accept it. Because if you put it on them, then all of the rest of us will also do that extra damage.
Okay.
No,
I'll just have to do the add my proficiency for the Hexblade Curse manually to whoever I do it.
No, you add it to yourself before you attack the target. It's not
so that it
complicated.
just buffs your attack against the target. It's a buff spell you cast on who you want to buff.
So you just click and drag the spell onto yourself. It's that simple. From your character card to the combat tracker, you just grab the little red dragon head, drag it onto yourself. Takes 2 seconds.
I understand that, but again, like I manually put this thing in, so I'm not sure it actually functions.
Oh, I see. So when you click classes on the right side and pull up your class,
A loyal devotee.
let's see, what are you, a Hexblade?
Yeah, I did add it through that, but it didn't actually give it an ability or anything. It just added it to my features.
Okay, so pull up the classes so that you can add it again, and go to your Actions tab. In the bottom right of the Actions tab, there should be a brown button that says Edit List.
Mm-hmm.
Click that. And then there's going to be a blue star that says Add Power.
Yeah, that's how I added it.
Okay. But instead of clicking that, find the ability in the classes tab thing, and then drag it into your powers.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Woo.
Hello,
Alright.
everyone, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Tales of Miraleth, Dungeons and Dragons. I will turn it over to the most fearful of us all, Zale.
Hey now.
What?
Fearful of us all? I'm a teddy bear compared to you, you lightning throwing bastard.
No, you are full of fear.
Yeah.
That's
That-
what
that is
fearful
true.
means.
It is indeed.
Well,
Hey, Zale.
What?
Zappy.
I swear I'm gonna spear you to a tree.
What,
One of these days, Zale's just gonna straight up turn around and spear you to a tree.
one of these days, absolutely. And as a DM, I might allow it. Anyways,
whoa.
why are we turning this over to the not DM? Out of curiosity, is he doing something? Is something special going on today?
I don't know, is he?
You turned it over to him, so you tell me.
Well, yeah, so he can now choose to say something like a recap or something and then turn it over to you. Or he can turn it back. Or turn it
Let's
over to
see.
Crag.
I'm gonna turn it
Or-
back to the actual Gold King instead of the troller here. So, Gold King, you're on. Spotlight.
You're a
Alright,
troll?
so-
Key.
Since when was Zale the troll? He's a
Anywho.
were-troll.
Anywho,
That sounds fun.
so hello everybody. My name's Gold King. I will be the session's DM tonight, and I'm going to turn over to City here. No, I'm kidding.
Nothing.
So as we recuperated from last week's extensive battle, which I'm hoping to avoid somewhat today, we had been going to a church to try and cleanse the shield of Cityr, which seems to have been corrupted by the darkness. Unfortunately, on the way in there, they ran across the folktale legend of the Shankhill Butchers, which were, butchers. Though not the kind you would like to see at the meat market, more the devious, murdery kind. They had destroyed the church before the party had gotten there, leaving them with a dead end. At said point, with nothing much left to do there other than, a little bit of dashed hopes and dreams, the party would have returned to Ventonland, the city, well, loose term city, more of a village that they had originally convened in with the bard Moriarty McCann, the fox. Unfortunately, at that point, Moriarty McCann, the fox, would have little else to give the party as far as direction or a way to properly go. And with that, he would bid them adieu, but not before he took note of a crow that happened to be at the tavern that day. It seemed he was friendly towards the individual, though most of you actually missed the conversation, doing your own things and whatnot. Before too long, though, McCann was saying his fond farewells, raising a toast to everyone, even though it more likely than not, most folks did not raise a toast to him, before he headed off, leaving another bard in his wake. You have done a roll of an electrifying bolt, Sim.
Just ignore the chat unless you feel it's an actual thing.
Fair enough.
Thanks.
I mean, you're not announcing it. You're just doing it while I'm speaking.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to interrupt. That would be rude.
Well, the lightning bolt is interrupting. It's very interrupting. Do you know how loud that is?
Well, yeah, that's the
Also,
point.
you completely missed and left a burn mark on the wall. Anyways.
No, but it was close enough to achieve the desired effect.
Anywho. As McCann leaves and the sort of crow bard is left in his place, the party is left to sort of convene amongst themselves in this tavern now that they are left without something proper to take care of this cursed shield that Cityr bears. Oop-doo. That being said, however, it would be a few days before McCann would actually get back to the main tavern. The tavern in which that you, the individual viewer, would be staying at. Yes, you, the viewer, are still part of this world. Don't think I forgot. As DM, this is the world of D&D, and as I control the world, I like to always invite you to join in with it. For the past few weeks now, people had been going to this tavern in search of Moriarty McCann the Fox Bard, as he had these songs that told of this adventure of heroes that seemed fairly current. Strangely so. Anywho, it would be a few days before McCann would get back, as he had promised he would do so, and he would give everyone a smile and a light wave. And as he would return to the bar, he would nod to some individuals he'd recognize, to others he might not, He would be greeting them as he walked in, offering to pay for some drinks now that he had a bit more coin, it seemed. As he does eventually take a seat by the hearth, he says, "Well, this story happened a few days ago, right after I left. It starts with a little song that a good friend of mine sang. And for proper effect, this song would likewise be sung by the Crow Bard that the party encounters at their individual tavern as well. Zim, if you would please cut the music briefly."
Okay, so I expect an actual crow's voice.
Well, this is a Crow Bard, so the Crow Bard actually has a good voice.
Uh-huh.
But I can try and mix it up a little bit if you really want.
I mean, you have to, first off, remember, they don't have lips, so...
I mean, yeah, but this is magic. Also, birds have a very, very weirdly good ability to mimic sounds. I have no idea how to actually mimic the noises of a jackhammer, but I know a bird can do it.
I think if what you're talking about is a kenku, I think they can mimic any voice they've heard, or at least
Yeah.
the words they've heard before.
Basically, there are also actual real life birds like that. But anyways, we're getting off topic. The song. Seasons come and seasons go, moons wax and wane. Time, it seems ever so slow to the spirits of Have Hollow. One is the spirit of Astabar, a mage who traveled wide and far, collector of items of magic lore, seeker of secrets from times of yore. Seasons come and seasons go, moons wax and wane. Time, it seems ever so slow to the spirits of Have Hollow. For Astabar, a dragon was an easier foe than defeating his own pride and ego. Certain he was greater than any magic force, he set to unraveling the eldritch source of a wand most strange and chaos bound, that the mage of mind it did confound. Seasons come and seasons go, moons wax and wane. Time, it seems ever so slow to the spirits of Have Hollow. Astabar would not be denied. With all his power, he turned the tide against the one that refused to break, even if wisdom he did forsake. Upon the wand he cast all his might, eldritch light, dancing in the night, and the wand's power was unleashed, its chaos and fury was released. Seasons come and seasons go, moons wax and wane. Time, it seems ever so slow to the spirits of Have Hollow. Power beyond his control, the one consumed the manor whole. Sheathed in radiant magic fire, Astabar was consumed. On the ethereal pyre, seasons come and seasons go, moons wax and wane. Time it seems ever so slow to the spirits that still roam. Hey, follow. As the song finishes from the crow's voice, doesn't seem that many take note of it. If anything, the general air of the tavern seems just a bit more solemn in response. Everyone is, of course, left to their normal morning breakfast, the third one you've been having now at this tavern, having to continuously come back to it, as so far adventures outwards haven't seemed to have gone the best. Regardless, it's still good food. What are all of you doing this morning now?
City will be looking at our map, trying to figure out where to go next.
Zale asked City or when City or plans on getting us a job that pays, since this is the reason we came over here.
You wish to be paid?
Yeah, I kind of have a wife and kid at home I need to take care of. I came here with the mercenary company to do mercenary work.
Well, City, or your response?
1 second. City's just gonna give Zare 45 gold.
Do you have 45 gold?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you do.
Zale pushes the money back. It's not a one-time thing. Just keep in mind that, hey, we came here on the promise of work and stuff, so maybe get some work in between the saving the world stuff.
We all came for different reasons.
It was, in fact, a land of opportunity, after all. So as Zale and Sidier go about this little conversation, Risphone, what are you doing?
He is eating his fill. Wishing that they had let him go to the river to fish the previous day.
Well, this is farming country, and the river actually does run rather close to town, so if you so desire,
Okay,
you could still...
he's going for the river.
Go bring us some fish to sell.
And so Risphone skeeters out the bar door to go fishing. Craig, Zaire, and Graham, any of the three of you, what are you doing now? These two are speaking over employment issues.
Graham will just very quietly, almost stealthily, just slide it next to wherever, like slide into the seat next to where City is, and just kind of tap City on the shoulder.
Yes.
You've been tapped.
Hey, I think something's wrong with Snowy. Graham will flop the backpack down on the on the counter and lift up the flap, and Snowy very much looks like whenever is emitting the same flames and black ash that Graham does whenever he curses people.
Did you ever look rather surprised that you kept a rabbit in your bag?
I think Snowy got possessed by those things.
Well, I don't know what to do about that.
But you're the cleric and the whole light thing.
What light thing?
Graham will blink whenever you went up into the sky and the light.
I went into the sky?
Strangely enough, Sidier would not remember that. That is correct.
Yes.
You're crazy.
It's how your shield got cursed.
That's a bit strange, but my wings I'm too heavy for flying.
Graham will look very sad.
I can
Zale
attest.
kind of butts in and he goes, yeah, the rabbit's right. You put on quite a light show whenever the tavern was surrounded.
The tavern was surrounded?
Now Zale's looking at you funny.
You're
Crag
crazy.
is also giving them a funny look.
I think you're all crazy.
Sidir, go ahead and roll a quick insight check.
Where do you...
Yeah, no, they're all crazy.
Wait, do I have to roll for that? I want to be
No,
crazy.
you didn't have to. I just wanted you to see, like, because you got 4 people telling you that happened.
Crag points out that there are 4 people saying that it happened.
They're still
Well,
crazy.
Sidio would wave them off.
Insight would be more like if he would choose for his character not to believe a word we're saying, or believes that we're crazy.
We'll attempt something to the rabbit. Can I cast Bless on it?
You may. Nothing's stopping you.
Well, then I cast Bless. I will bless the rabbit.
Bahamut, please
I don't
bless this
I think
rabbit.
that would necessarily affect Snowy.
No idea. But I'm gonna sprinkle some holy water on it.
Where a target makes an attack roll or saving throw before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to attack or saving. Yeah, no, that's just a buff.
Yep.
Snowy seems a little more empowered.
As for a cleric, I don't have anything that actually does that.
And also, Snowy keeps. I also hear a voice in my head saying I'm doing terrible things to people. Like a bunch of people drowning.
I mean, I was aware you're crazy, but now you're just more crazy.
You do also have to keep in mind this is a 13-year-old.
Yeah, that's the first point of crazy. The second point is crazy. They're carrying a rabbit in their backpack.
Well, it is the rabbit that he has been carrying around on top of his head for the most part.
On your head is fine. In your bag, no.
Well, Graham looks genuinely like worried that Snowy has been possessed by something evil. Like completely unaware that he has produced very similar effects himself.
Nice. So real
Indeed.
quick, to switch gears, Craig and Zaire, what are either of you doing at this time with these conversations going on?
Crag is sitting with the people talking and listening, hoping to also get a job.
We should probably ask the bartender.
Sorry, say that one more time. I got a DM.
Hoping that he can hear when they were getting a job.
You can hear them talking about trying to get a job. Why?
Well, he's just waiting to see if either of them have ideas.
Zale, why don't you go ask the bartender?
Actually, that sounds like a good idea to
He
me.
seems to have great connection to the city, or well, town, farming place.
As you're going over this, actually, the crow bard, who was singing just a moment earlier, moves over to sit next to the party, kind of glancing around at all of you.
Sale kind of glares at this random newcomer. Like, can we help you?
Yeah, I couldn't help but overhear that you needed a job, right?
It would be nice.
Eavesdrop often, do you?
Well,
mean, look at 'em.
Everyone here is rather quiet. It's like, someone crapped in everyone's cereal or something. It's not quite lively today.
To be
Gee,
expected.
did you expect a town festival after being attacked by a bunch of crazy, weird shadow monster things?
He blinks a few times and leans in. I beg your pardon?
Yeah, what crazy monster sings?
Zale just throws up his hands in frustration.
When did you get here exactly?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
I just got here yesterday. I did. Just came into town, a few hours ago. Said hello to my friend Moriarty over there. Before he left.
Ah, wait, you know that guy?
Oh yes, of course. He's sort of famous bard over here on the West Coast. He's always telling these strange stories. But they get him paid.
So that's why you could pay for all our food.
The Raven nods a few times. I'm sorry, I said crow earlier, didn't I?
Yep,
Same thing. No, I'm kidding. It's not the same.
close enough.
Anyways, my name is River Greyware. I don't know if you were listening to the song I sang earlier about the tale of Estebar, but it is a very true one, I assure you. In fact, his manor is not much, but a walk hour north of the village. It's been abandoned for a few years. Some people think that fortune and magic await for those bold enough to risk it, but not too many feel it's worth the risk. Either way, though, it's worth checking out. If you ask me, at least. I'm sure there's plenty of magical items in there. He was a wizard. Or so I believe the tale goes.
Ooh, sounds fun.
I am planning on heading there, once I get some food in my belly. Perhaps you'd be interested in joining me.
Why do you want to go there?
Well, why not? It sounds like an adventure to me.
I wonder why, for the same reason that I would wonder why a farmer would go there. Especially if it's dangerous.
Well, I'm not a farmer.
That's clear.
He just nods.
What's in it for you versus what's in it for us? You tell us there's treasure there, but if it was that easy, then there wouldn't be any treasure there.
What do you mean?
If there were just a whole bunch of magical artifacts lying about, everyone would have already raided it. So what's protecting it that you need a full party of some people like us to accompany you?
Well, not many people have likely rated it because most of the folks around here are farmers and not many others really know about Estebar. Personally, I haven't sang this song terribly much to other newcoming travelers, but, well, Estebar was a bit of a collector of both magical items and creatures in his time. And it's likely that in his strange absence, a lot of them may have sprung loose and taken up residence in the place. Going
There's a
alone
catch.
is fairly risky, most likely.
Sale looks at Sidier. Well, it is something, at least.
Treasure hunt, anyone?
I like treasure and hunting.
Have we all had a long rest?
Yes, you have. Everyone should be fully healed. Everything should be.
You want to
fully-
actually add it through the combat tracker?
Oh, crabs. Yes. Combat tracker. Ho. I've already forgotten how to do this. I can't believe it. Also, I need to get rid of these boys. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, there we are.
Awesome.
Excellent. I don't know why I was right-clicking like right next to that button. I have no idea why I thought I was right-click. Anyways. As you seem to all more or less be agreeable to be joining this crow, Ristforn would be returning with fish in tow. To see the party sitting with this this crow now. Ristforn, what do you do?
He goes up to the bar, flopping the biggest one he caught onto the counter. Could you cook this for me?
The bartender raises a brow to it, but then shrugs and gives a light nod. He says, sure, since you caught it, I guess I could give you a little discount on it. Well, wait, hold on. He shakes his head and chuckles to himself. I forgot, we're giving you free food. And he goes back to cook it.
Yeah, at least this food you didn't have to provide.
Yes, that's true, but I almost forgot that you folks saved, our little village here.
I'm just kind of imagining arms are full of fish. And he just kind of casually slid the biggest one onto the counter. He's gonna walk over to the party with the rest of them. What's up?
By the rest of them, you have one other fish that you were able to catch in that time frame, reasonably.
Oh, well then I'll just have the chef cook both of them.
Okay. He cooks the two fish then.
Welcome back. We're about to go on a treasure hunt.
Ristforn seems to be speechless.
No. So, treasure hunt.
Correct.
What for?
Treasure.
Are there fish?
For magical treasure.
Probably fishing rod.
There's what?
I don't know. Treasure.
You don't know what kind of treasure.
Nope.
What? It's magical treasure.
There you go. Magical treasure.
Magical. And how do we know this actually exists?
Well, there's a little manor about an hour north of town, just a small walk away. It is very real, I can assure you. And there's many strange magic going-ons in there. It was a former manor of a collector of magical items and a wizard.
Wizards live in towers.
Some of them. Some of them live in manors. Some of them live in little caves in the ground. Depends on the kind of wizard, honestly. Not all of them can afford towers, you know.
So instead they bought a mansion?
Well, it's a manor, so to speak. It's more of a big house, but not quite a mansion. I wouldn't say it's a mansion, personally.
So you want us to go to a mysterious, probably haunted manor, probably booby-trapped with all sorts of magical traps, in the hopes that there might be some form of magical treasure somewhere inside.
He gives a few light nods. Also, it would be kind of fun to figure out whatever happened to old Astaban.
Well, go knock on the door and find out.
Oh, many have tried.
Many have tried, and for some reason you think we could succeed.
Oh, certainly someone has to at some point.
I see. I got nothing better to do.
Exactly.
He gives a few little claps with his scaly little fingers as he stands up and gives a little strum of his lute, almost somewhat excitedly. All right then, we'll be off. Whenever you're all ready, of course. And with that, he makes his way outside with his sort of cloak flowing behind him.
Sidier would join him not too long after.
Yeah, Crag follows pretty quick, excited for some work.
Graham will follow behind too.
Sire will also follow.
All right.
Ristorn's probably gonna wait for their fish.
Eristvorn would
Of
soon be
course.
served up his. It would take a bit because they would still need to gut and skin the fish before cooking it, but the fish would be served nonetheless in a relatively timely fashion, given all the work they'd have to do to the fish, rather than just cooking some they had pre-prepared. Regardless, though, Zale, you take note of everyone moving out with Visitara, and the two of you make it fairly easily to ready up, as well, Craig, with your easier ability to control Kai now. Kai seems more willing and raring to go than she had in previous days, where getting her to move or do anything at all took a large amount of willpower.
Crag seems pleased with that. And
After all is said and done, you would all come to the exterior of a large building, as the crow had stated, about an hour away. And at this point, I shall show the thing. You all come before this large-looking manor, up the dirt path that leads into a sort of stone gravel path, as you can see detailed here. You won't actually have your tokens on this map because the proper scaling is a bit too wonky for it. But you find the gates slightly ajar. It's a rather nicely walled off area. One moment. There's an actual description for this. Through the picket line of trees, you do see the 3-story house that is supposed to be the manor. The building does look as though it has been abandoned for some time, as would be expected. The grounds are overgrown with a leafy blanket of vines covering much of the stonework. And other than a murder of crows that nestle on the edge of the roof, you see no other signs of life. The rusted iron gate stands perfectly ajar, and the grass and weeds beyond the gate have grown almost to the height of the wall itself, turning the interior courtyard into a labyrinth of vegetation outside of the beaten and stony path. At this point, I would have to actually ask for, I believe, Zaire to make a wisdom check. Okay, Zaire. You being the druid of the party, you're able to recognize that the growth of this sort of vegetation is not natural. It almost seems more or less enhanced by something.
Okay.
Weeds and grass would not reasonably grow this large.
I'll relay that to the party.
Zale
So,
kind of
magic
trots Visitara up and like pokes at like the nearest vine with his glaive from like a really far distance away.
Right. Is anyone joining him, I guess?
Does the grass look like it's dry or? Like, what does it look like? It would
It's-
burn easily?
It's a deep green. It's very lush. It's growing healthy, like deep healthy green. The grass is greenest here.
Hmm.
Anyways, Zale, you're poking at some of the vegetation.
Yeah.
No one else is doing anything while he's doing this.
Craig is
Zero.
watching.
This form will throw lightning.
Okay. I heard Craig, Sidier, I think you started to say something. Ristforn, no. So let's go. Craig, you were doing something?
Craig is watching from a safe distance.
Craig is watching. Eisen, are you doing anything?
Graham is probably about like 10 or 15 feet back.
Right. Sidier.
They will also be watching Zale poke the vines.
Alright, so at this point I'm just going to assume everyone's just going to be sitting back and watching Zale. Ristforn, no. Anyways.
Yes!
As...
Lightning!
Shush.
Lightning what?
I throw lightning.
At what?
At the grass right in front of Zale.
I swear.
You're going to have to make a roll to make sure you don't zap him.
Alright, I'll let him just enjoy his grass.
Alright, as Zale is more quote-unquote enjoying the grass and poking at it, it seems to be perfectly normal vegetation, just growing at irregular rates with irregular amounts of health for this dense of vegetation, as most of the exterior vegetation could not grow to this extent and live. As you are poking at the green grass and whatnot, you do notice there seems to be a sort of statue in the sort of like growth of grass, just about 10 feet away from you. It's a big old statue of a rhinoceros. You'd also take note of one that happens to be on the other side of the entrance opposite.
Question, can I see those statues?
You can.
Detect magic with arcane sight.
Let's see. One moment. Yes, it does actually appear to be magical.
Oh, statues are magical.
Also, Zale, as you have entered that sort of interior courtyard, you would also see the front of the building. And you would take note that at the front there are the ornate double doors that lead inside. They seem to be some of the few things that are free of the vines that cover the rest of the building, as well as the rest of the vegetation. There are dozens of runes burned into the wood of the doors. It's a rather disconcerting thought as to what that could possibly indicate.
Am I able to translate any of the runes?
Sale half turns to the party and kind of shrugs. It seems okay. Kind of need somebody to figure this part out.
Would Arcana be able to? Would I be able to read the runes with
You would have to move up to the door, of course. As far as I'm concerned, you're still all outside except for Zale.
Cindy would stay close to Zale.
But as you do move close to examine the symbols, a loud, foreboding snort draws your attention back towards the statues that you had seen. Through the path of tall grass, the large black stone rhinoceros paws at the ground with their powerful hooves as they begin to toss their heads from side to side, as though detecting all of your presence. Both of them seem to thrash about their rather long and possibly lethal 3-foot-long horn.
Oh my.
They seem to take note of the party and become more or less defensive in position, but they do nothing more for the moment, though they do seem agitated at your presence.
Crag
Is
will.
there a role that I can to see what if I know what they are? I feel as though if they're magical, that would probably be Arcana,
Most likely.
unless they're like some kind of demon or something.
You could take a you could see, you could try and see, yeah.
Are they made out of stone?
Yes. Well, I mean, it's a rhinoceros, so what rhinoceros doesn't look like it's made out of stone on?
All right, I rolled a 20.
Okay, you rolled a 20. You would know that these seem to be these seem to be animated and alive by. It is definitely a form of arcana, of magic. Though it is not one that seems to be necessarily intentional.
Oh. Those things are not. I don't think those things are controlled by anyone. Can I? Well, since I'm not that far behind Zale,
Yep.
can I see the runes and do the
Well,
Arcana
you would be
check
in
then?
you would be in front of Zale. You are at the door at this point to observe these runes. So you are at the front door right now.
All right. So
Can I
what
read
do I
any of the
roll
runes?
to read?
Oh, real quick before you go ahead and do that, we're gonna go ahead and give everyone a sort of quote unquote turn to react. What are you all more or less doing in response to these rhinoceros seeming to wake up and take almost a defensive stance?
Crag tries to calm them down by approaching quietly and slowly.
All right. Oh yes, I saw in chat. It doesn't seem to quite be working, unfortunately. Zale has pointed at the door and says, "Now might be a good time to get the doors open." Does anyone else do anything in response to Zale's ideal?
I'll look at the runes to see if I can understand them and see if they have anything to do with opening the door. That's the only action I would take at this moment, outside of just occasionally looking at the rhinos.
Sire will join everyone at the door, and while keeping an eye on the rhinos with his hand on his sword, just in case.
Is Graham able to read this runes at all?
Yes. The runes do seem to be somewhat connected to the rhinoceros, as far as you can tell. From the burn marks, it is somewhat hard to make out. It's somewhat strange that they are burnt into the door instead of, reasonably scried or carved or something like that. It seems to add to the sort of mystery behind them, as the runes would imply that they have been placed here, sort of on purpose, though you're feeling with the magic and how it was manifested seems to state otherwise.
What is the door made out of?
Wood.
Can I bash it down with the shield?
You can.
I'll let the party know that the rhinoceroses and the runes on these doors are connected.
If these doors open, everyone run inside. Would you like me to roll strength?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and roll a good old strength towards the doors or whatnot.
Nope.
Oh no, it's fine. The door, like, as you go to bash the doors, they burst wide open. They weren't even locked.
Oh.
Jeez.
So you fumble in through the doors, rather with not a speck of grace, as you end up in the front foyer. Does everyone follow?
Graham will follow in quickly.
Desire will follow cautiously.
We got Graham, Sidir, and Zyre inside. Craig, Rishforn, and Zale.
Craig's
Sale
gonna
has
go
to-
in last with Kai, watching
Sale has
the
to
party's
kind
back.
Sale has to kind of maneuver Visitara in sideways, like sidestepping to make sure she fits. But yeah.
Luckily, they are double doors.
He
And
has to
as-
duck and keep his glaive from hitting the roof and stuff.
As you do make your way in, it does seem like the rhinoceroses were about to charge you, as you just barely get in with your mount, as the both of them seem to sort of more or less crash their horns into the door. But strangely enough, it seems to shut the door rather than burst it down even more.
Ristforn just casually walks in, surveying the room.
All right, and you are now in the first room, the foyer. Go ahead and close the map that I have shared, as you are now in a different area. I shall be sharing with you the new one.
So, I will be using the arcane sight to determine if there's any more magic similar to like that of the rhino and of the door in the immediate area, or wherever I can see it.
Right. Give me a moment here to properly set up the visuals. And to get your tokens in. You guys can't place your tokens in, can you?
No.
Lovely.
I'll need Snowy's token down this time too.
Um, why is the token not going in?
You need to drag it from the combat tracker first off.
That's my... I keep trying to drag it from the cards. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. So, Graham, you're one of the first ones in. Sidir, you are the absolute first one in. Zale, you are right behind. Zyre, you make it in there in decent time. Rishforn, you're walking casually in. And Craig as well as... I'm sorry. Yeah, Zale would actually be towards the rear end since he had to get his mount inside. Everyone has to
Zale's
shuffle
not
around.
going to be able to fit through here without his, or with his mount.
Yeah, I'm already considering that. Given that I've probably hit my
Oh,
head
no,
on a couple of things already.
No, you straight up would have had to have dismounted, as both Kai and your mount would have hold on, taken up some
Been a
space.
little bit of a tight squeeze through the double doors.
Yep. Okay. Come on. What? There we go. Kai, the big girl.
Kai is fat.
Kai is dummy thick.
For now, Visitara's in that top left corner, and I'm dismounted.
All right. Sounds like a plan. As you all move into the front foyer, you are greeted by the main hallway on the first floor. Look, on the first floor, the main hallway is, of course, directly in front of you as you see it going straight down, connecting to several doors, being a nice long wooden and somewhat ornate corridor, although somewhat decrepit. There is a closed door directly to your left after entering, a stairwell to your right leading straight up to the second floor. But your attention is immediately drawn to the doorway beneath the stairs. From the second you stepped foot in the house, everyone more or less rushed into the house, something began knocking on the other side of this door with a nice, loud, resounding boom. Boom! Boom! The steady banging shows no signs of stopping as it continues to knock and wreck.
I would like to do like I said, is the thing on the other side of the door magical, or is it just a thing?
It's just a thing, as far as you can tell. There's no magic coming from this door.
Or behind it?
Yeah, no.
Hmm.
That whatever's there, it's not magic.
Alright, well, that thing's not magical, so not sure if we want to see what it is. Graham is going to put Snowy down, and Snowy is going to check out the room to the north of us.
You're checking out the north room?
Well, Graham will put Snowy down, and everyone will notice Snowy kind of turns a little bit invisible, and then they see the door to the north kind of open up. If it's not locked, of course.
Oh, just for the reference, and this is going to be a little wonky, I know, but north is actually to the right on this map.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's one of those.
So you gotta open a door to the west.
So
Yes,
that would be the west,
Yeah,
then.
Okay, you're going to the west. Is anyone else responding to the door that Kai is directly next to that's banging and whomping?
But also, I need Snowy's token on the.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
City will go peer through this door.
Peer through that door, okay. So
This farm's more interesting in this door.
They'll ask if it's smart to split the party or what.
Well, Graham hasn't moved. Only Snowy has.
If you get in trouble, scream really loud.
Gee, thanks. No, when something magical jumps at me and I have no defenses, that's gonna be real great.
Well, then stick to someone that has magical defenses.
As the two of you are bickering, City Air.
Correct.
A random pot seems to kind of smash against the back of your head and do 3 damage.
Do my horns not protect at all?
Well, it's more like something was thrown at the back of your head and broke against it, and the blunt force did a solid 3 damage.
Okay. Cindy would probably groan in pain. And blames it as there for it.
Blame who?
There.
Zaire?
Yes.
Oh no, it came from the other direction.
Oh.
Because you were looking to Zale as the two of you were bickering.
Ouch.
So it came from down the hall, as you're aware. But if that doesn't cause some concern, Craig and Zyre. Okay, wait, Grand, you didn't move. That's right. You're just. Craig
Yes.
and Zyre, what are you doing?
Snowy, who's not on the map yet, moved.
Right. I need to. Is Snowy in the combat tracker? Snowy's not in the combat. I need to fix that.
Crag tries to sneak up the stairs to see if he can figure out what's up.
Oh boy.
Let's just focus on one floor at a time, and preferably the doors closest to us.
Alright,
Yeah, that seems smart.
Yeah, I don't think splitting the
Instead
party
of
is a big
going
deal.
down the hallway while leaving our flank exposed.
Alright, fine.
Wristforn being the first time actually possibly being a good leader for the group. Craig and Zyre, what do you do? Either of you two react to Sidier getting slapped at the back of the head with a pot from down the hall, and the booming of the door that no one seems to be absolutely interested in, that Kai is kind of like nervously glaring at.
Zyre's
softly.
gonna draw his sword, just to be prepared.
Crag looks for where the pot came from.
The pot came from down the hall. The hall is empty. There seems to be a sort of side table that now appears to be missing a vase, with broken glass littering the ground now, and a few pieces stuck in Sidier's horns. Anyways, as for the room that Snowy and Wristforn are entering, it comes into view. For starters, and they enter the sitting room. This 15 foot by 15 foot, that's not 15 feet by 15 feet, but okay. Credit to the map creator. Contains a comfortable sofa and chairs. The quality, material, and engraved wood mark these items to be furniture of actually fairly high quality. On a coffee table in the middle of the room is a glass decanter, glowing violet liquid.
Alright, since Graham is currently doing the familiar things, can I do an arcane check on that? Because I'm assuming it's magical in nature.
Arcana check on what?
The vial of glowing liquid.
Certainly. You may go ahead and do so.
Alright.
Come on, Matt, move. Okay. And you're going in and observing it, I assume? It's not
No,
Snowy doing it?
I can see through the familiar's eyes, but I
Oh,
just
okay.
I myself am unaware of like my own senses while doing this. So.
Gotcha. So through Snowy, you you look at the vial, and you can tell it absolutely is magical. Likely some form of enchanted. Seems to be enchanted with a. Let me pull up the actual listing in Fantasy Grounds. One moment, if you don't mind. Here we go.
You are not prepared.
It seems to be from the source of some sort of eldritch magic. From what you can tell.
Would I know anything more about that, considering that I'm a warlock and might have some experience with that?
Now, you think it could be harmful to drink. In fact, just from the look of it, it seems to be a sort of vibrant, almost somewhat destructive enchantment. It could likely be used as some form of poison or well, yeah, poison either applied, to a weapon or to be consumed. Either way, you think it would have about the same effect, though.
Alright, Graham will speak up. Ristform, that potion in there is harmful. Don't drink it. You can use it as a weapon. Just don't drink it.
Well, it's not exactly a potion. It's more like enchanted water, so to speak.
All right.
Which
Isn't that
is
what a
basically what a
potion
potion is. So
Are we able to separate the liquid from the decanter?
you certainly could try. If you wanted to.
Is the liquid secured in it?
It is.
So we get to take the entire decanter.
You could, yes.
Riskborn?
I mean, I guess. I don't see much use for it. We don't even know what it is.
That is
I'll take
true.
it then.
You don't know exactly what it is, just that it's destructive.
Can I take it?
You may, yes. I thought I said so.
Alright. What
Go
should I
ahead
list that
and-
as?
Decanter of enchanted liquid.
Supposedly
Can we call
harmful.
it the decanter of enchanted pain?
Sure. You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's go with that.
Decanter of enchanted pain?
Yes. We'll go ahead with that.
How heavy is this thing?
It's about 20 ounces plus the weight of the decanter itself is probably about 2 pounds.
Alright.
Yeah, about
Our
2
first bit of treasure.
Indeed, if you would qualify this as such. Either way, though, that seems to be all that's in this room for the moment. At the very least, it seems to be of some utility to the party. Nonetheless, there's still the booming, thudding behind the door, at which that Zale seems to be more or less aiming his
The
glaive
front
towards.
door or the one to the...
Not the
the one to the east.
Yeah, the east/south of Kai. If you look to the stairs and then directly left of the stairs past Kai, there is a door there that is continuously being knocked on. With
Okay.
ferocity and
This one?
yes,
That is not to the east.
that is to the east.
The map is rotated, Zim.
The north is to the right. The south is to the left. East
Well,
is
where's our
north.
compass rose?
Unfortunately, they didn't actually add one except for on the DM reference paper. I don't know why they did that.
Why didn't you just use the official or custom stuff? Because the official stuff is bad.
Alright, so
Lack of time.
Snow is gonna kind of stand watch there, and Graham is gonna get into position to help deal with whatever's behind that door.
Risforn is going to open the door, but he is readying a electrifying bolt to hit against anything hostile behind it.
And Graham does the same, but with Eldritch Blast.
Craig says hello to the door to see if anyone responds.
Okay, sudden change in music there. But anyways, as you move to the booming door, once you place your hand on it and begin to turn the knob, the booming stops. When you begin to open it, it slowly creaks open a few inches before you feel it yanked back and it slams shut.
Oh.
I tried to yank it open.
Ah. Well, you got it a little bit of the way before it was yanked right back. It opened up a crack, but it didn't open up all the way.
Whatever's on the
teddy
other
bear.
side of that is stupid.
Big guy. Hey. You're stronger than me. Why don't you, try and hold this open once I get it open a bit? Crag, you want to help relay that?
Zale just comes beside you, pries open the door, and sticks his glaive into the opening right before it shuts.
And
All right,
snap.
Zale, you actually need to make a strength check real quick to even open the door.
Okay.
Now. It is being held shut.
Let me get this sheet up. Strength.
All right,
22.
the door rather reluctantly opens as you can see it. You do need to pry it back, but as you get it open, even just halfway from the sort of battle of strength, you do notice there's nothing there. There's nothing trying to pull this shut, but there's definitely a pure resistance trying to pull back against you.
So I kind of wedged my glaive in to keep the door at least partially open.
Right. Well, as
Grim
you
gasps and says,
as you continue to pry it open, you seem to, at some point, it seems to give up any sort of fight that it previously had, and from your sort of small struggle, you end up kind of like almost slamming the door into the side wall directly to your right. As all give is suddenly just let off, and the room is left completely empty inside, at least as far as you can tell.
I kind of like poke my head in and look around.
As you poke your head in, you take notice of one thing and one thing only, and that is a skull on the ground. But in the forehead of this skull is very notably etched a rune of sorts.
I back out and say, this one's your forte, Risworn.
So it shut again?
Did you shut
No,
the door, Zale?
No, the door is open.
The door's wide open.
Okay, I missed what's my forte?
Whatever Zale saw in that room, he backed out and said, it's your forte.
Yeah, you have not seen it yet, Risworn.
Okay, I'll go and look.
Okay, as you step inside, you see the same sight Zale saw, which was a skull sitting very neatly on the ground, over, like, around the left corner as you peek in towards the technical north. But, of course, it would normally be the east for us. You see a skull sort of sitting there nice and square.
Up, left, right, down.
Okay.
Make it easier.
To your right on the map. There's a skull simply sitting there nice and square, as though it's been, yeah, right there. As though it has been waiting for you, or for someone, that is, with a nice little rune etched in on its forehead. It's simply sitting there. That's all you see. There's nothing else in this room but dust and cobwebs and, you know, the natural effects of a building slowly creeping into disrepair.
He's gonna go investigate the skull.
All right. The skull simply sits there and smiles at you, but then again, a skull can do nothing but smile.
I send you a PM.
Lovely. Everybody, you hear a wailing, girly shriek come from behind the, well, not from behind the door, but from where Ristforn had stepped inside.
Zale heads and peeks around the corner.
Ristforn's standing there just giving you a big toothy grin.
Zale looks really frustrated and just slams the door shut on Ristforn.
I love it. Well, dinner, Zale.
Get pranked, bro.
Nothing. He was being stupid again. He can sit in there for a while. You know what? I grab Vizitara, lead her to the door, and plop her butt right in front of the door to block it.
Unfortunately, Kai is in the way.
Anything
Kai's too
magical
big.
about this skull or the room in general?
There's nothing magical about it, though. From your, of course, arcana and understanding of runes, you do recognize this as being a fairly simple, sort of rune that depicts a phase of the moon. Carved into the forehead of this skull is actually the, specifically the symbol for the waxing crescent moon. Share with y'all real quick. So I didn't think to actually put it in Fantasy Grounds. Because I'm an idiot. It'll take half a second. Come on. There we go. Yes, it's simply just a skull with the rune in it.
And what does the rune do?
The rune doesn't do anything. It's literally just a runic carving that depicts the waxing crescent of the moon. It's not actually a spell rune, but more of a written rune.
Oh, and nothing else in this room?
That's all that's in there. It's just that skull. The rest of the room just seems to be empty and abandoned.
Alright, he'll pick up the skull and try the door again.
Alright, the door is open unless, Zale is trying to keep it shut again.
Alright, he'll just casually walk out, holding the
No,
skull in
I'll
one
let him
hand.
out.
He's
skull.
just kind of staring at the skull in his hand. For those
Trophy.
familiar with memes, kind of like
There's the skull for you.
kind of like the bananas.
What does bananas and skulls have to do anything with each other?
The Nintendo one, I forget which of them did it, but they just started one of their announcements with one of their people sitting there staring at a bunch of bananas.
Oh,
Yeah.
You sure we aren't talking about Markiplier?
Yes, I'm sure.
Crag or Zaire, you want to take the next door? Since we're all exploring the other ones.
Graham will look to the party and be like, I can have Snowy can watch the stairs for us, make sure nothing that's
It was
seeable
Satoru
comes after us.
Iwata. Who he what was it? Let me find it. Banana.
Everyone get ready for a YouTube video.
No. Just oh wait, this is on YouTube. Okay, I give up.
Crag, Zaire, you want to take the next room? Since we're
Graham.
Greg starts walking down to the next room, pulling Kai with him.
All right. Kai can, of course, barely fit down the main hall and will not be able to fit through any of the doors. So as you are doing that, you do kind of take note that Kai is literally just blocking the way. It might be best to sort of leave her in the front area. Unfortunately,
He tells her to go back.
This adventure was not made for bears, unfortunately.
Don't worry, Snowy can keep Kai company.
I mean, there's also Zale's mount.
What do you left at by the door?
Yeah, they're both in that room.
They're both taking up a lot of space, but you can squeeze past them easily enough. They're just kind of like awkwardly staring at each other. You're not sure if it's longingly or what have you.
I have a feeling Visitara is not exactly trusting of a bear.
Yeah, most
Not
likely
afraid,
not.
not afraid of the bear, but not trusting of him either.
Anywho, you guys are moving down to the next door. Is that the one that has Zale is standing in front of? Because there actually is a door directly to your below you, Zale, and there's one directly above Craig. So which one are you guys going into first?
Crag is leading the way at the moment. I think we're just gonna take turns being the first in the door.
We go through these doors in order?
I mean, order is a debatable thing to say, of course.
Okay, prevent things from do as much preventing of things coming in from behind us as possible.
There's only the door on the top wall there, right?
No,
No,
there's also
there's one below me.
Graham and Zale.
Okay.
Yeah, here, let me
Yeah.
try and make visibility a bit better. A little bit better. There we go.
Okay, yes, this door. Wristforn's going to open it. Again, prepared to throw lightning if anything hostile is beyond it.
All right, as you open the door, the room, of course, is revealed. Schwaloop. Flarbin, flarbin. Okay. So in this room, we have... number 5. Okay. You find yourself in a parlor, a room that's, at least 20 feet long by 20 feet long, at least. I'm sure it's longer than on the map. It contains a nice little setting of comfortable chairs and other fine furnishings about the room. In the corner of the room is a large, ornate vase. Up against the south wall is south left. Up against the south wall is a matching pair of wooden chairs and a solid block table with a marble surface marked into black and white squares. Pieces have been laid out on the squares for the game Kings and Pawns, otherwise known as chess. A popular game played amongst nobility, of course. It appears as though a game has been left unfinished. Do you continue with anything in this room?
Wristforn's
Crag goes up.
interested in the game.
Crag as well.
All right. As you step up, Craig, go ahead and give me an intelligence check to see if you even know how to play chess. Okay, Craig, you're a little brushed up at least on chess. You do have a somewhat basic understanding at the very least as to what the game is. So the both of you can tell that based on the turn counter, that seems to be sort of just a little indicator that's sort of built into the table on the side that simply slides back and forth. It's like a bead almost. It is Black's turn.
How the hell would we know whose turn it is?
The indicator. It's on Black's side. So that means it's currently Black's turn.
There's a little slide with a bead, and one side is marked with white ivory, one side is marked with black ivory. You slide the bead to each side to indicate whose turn it is.
Yes.
I have never
sort of
heard
like
of
built-
this.
Oh, well, you see
It's pretty
It's not
common.
common nowadays, but like in a medieval setting, that's how they used to do it.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and actually give you a little picture of the chessboard.
Yeah, that would be helpful in determining moves.
Yeah, no,
though.
it absolutely would. Come on. Play nice. Game. This isn't a game. Go into the folder. Why do things have to fight me anytime I'm streaming? Oh my god, why? Why do you have to be like this?
Because of a simple reason.
You gonna play the unit yet? So that coming a mile away.
It was
You
still
can't get me.
satisfying.
Fuck. I've got too many things open now. Here we go. Dear God, it takes too long to do. No. Share it. Share it.
One
Share it.
eternity
There we go.
later.
Oh my God. There you go. You should all have the chessboard. You should all be visible to the chessboard. Anyone else can move into the room if you want, of course, or you could all simply continue to stay out in the hall. Desire moves inside as well.
Well, damn.
Zale. Pardon?
Why is black going first?
Because that's where the slider is.
But that's
No,
not fair.
You walked into the middle of a game in progress.
Yeah, no, you anyone else who enters just sees Craig and Ristforn contemplatingly looking over this little chessboard here.
They were a step away from a... Well, no, that wouldn't be a...
They're at least
Stalemate.
4 to 5 steps away if anything went well.
No, I wasn't looking at the pawns below. I thought that they were going to be a stalemate.
Nope.
Go ahead and give me
Wow.
an intelligence check as you're looking over the board. Okay. Both of you, as you're looking over this, you do seem to, strangely enough, recognize that this this sort of setup seems to mimic the sort you might see in chess books. Craig, this is especially surprising that you would know this, but you must have seen it in a book at some point in your life. It had pictures in it. It was pictures of a chessboard, but pictures nonetheless. both of you feel like this could be one of those puzzles where things could be solved in one move. It certainly has the sort of feel to one of those puzzles.
One move?
Yes, one move is all that is needed to secure the victory. At least you feel that that's right. From your, witty deduction of how this chessboard sort of feels to be set up.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Since it's Black's turn.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I see it now too.
All right. What do you do?
Well, who's playing black and who's white? I don't think
It
we
could
actually
be that the whole
established.
party is considered black. I mean, nobody said playing this game will do anything.
It is
All right,
currently Black's
Rizforn's
turn.
going to move the knight from E2 to C3.
As you pick up the chess piece, you hear a sort of whirring noise, as though something has been triggered, but nothing seems to happen.
It's a trap!
It's a trap!
Sale kind of pokes his head around the door. What's going on?
It's
You-
gonna blow out there! Get in here!
Do you set the chess piece back down on C3, as you stated you would?
Yes.
After hearing the whirring? Okay. As you set it back down, you hear a nice little click. And then from the side of the table, a sort of panel flops open. And sitting inside is yet another skull, with a rune carved once again on the forehead.
Rizforn will collect his new trophy. Alright, so the first one was what?
That was
Crescent moon?
a waxing crescent
Waxing.
moon. The second one that you have simply picked up right now is a waxing gibbous.
Okay. Anything
Yeah,
else of note in this room?
No, it seems as though with the chess puzzle solved, the pieces do sort of notably, strangely slide back into place for a proper game of chess. Now that checkmate has been more or less declared by some sort of magical force, as the pawns are lined up neatly back in their rows and all the chess pieces back in their proper location, with the skull collected. Nothing else in this room seems to be of massive note. It's very nice. It's a nice room. Fairly comfortable. You could lounge in here for a little bit if you really wanted to. There's the vase in the corner, but it's just a vase.
Yeah. Next.
Alright, as Ristforn continues to skiddily and scurrily run about the entire mansion, he runs up to the next door without the rest of the party. Sire seems to follow behind him, as well as Sidier.
Oh fuck! I lost the map.
How did you lose the map?
Because I enlarged the one map and then I accidentally, I guess, exited out of both with one button click.
Okay, well, here you go. Get back in here.
Thank you.
All right, Ristvorn, burging into the next room.
There is no T with my name.
I did not give you tea.
You said Ristforn.
Yes, I said Ristvorn.
That's the way my name is said, yes.
That's what I said, yes.
No.
You tend to add a T, Gold King, just so you know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just my accent. Okay? Don't make fun of me for my accent.
No, I'm requesting that you respect me enough to say my name right.
I am saying your name right. It's Ristvorn.
That time you did.
All right, let's continue.
Yes. We have, unfortunately, a lot more mansion to go. This might actually go into 2 weeks, if I'm being completely honest. Either way, though, it's going to be fun. Don't worry. As you enter the dining hall, you are met with this strangely gruesome sight. Let me get up the proper reading for it. Crap. The proper reading for it. Right, a long, finely candled dining table dominates the center of the room. Sitting in each of the 8 chairs around the table, 3 to the north, 3 to the south, and 1 on both ends, there are skeletons who remain dressed in quite fine attire. Shockingly, or not so shockingly to the party, the head of each dinner guest is missing. Set out front in front of each skeleton is a large plate with a dome cover. The table is also adorned with fine cutlery and 2 silver candelabras. On the south, aka left wall, is a large painting of the full moon. As such, you are left to explore the room. Nothing seems to
Thing seems to what?
I'm sorry, I was just a little confused by what Graham had typed in chat. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Continue with what you were saying before.
No, that was it. You're left to explore the room with the 7 silver domes and the headless skeletons still dressed in fine attire, with the painting of a full moon on the left wall.
Whatever happened to the crow?
Oh no, he's in there. I forgot to put a token down for him, but he is still kind of casually in there with you at the back of the party, as he seems almost lightly concerned about Ristvorn's such forward nature to barrage through all these individual doors. Nonetheless, Ristvorn, you're left to wander the tiled dining room as it sits with all its silver cutlery and candelabras still sitting on the domed pallets in front of these headless skeletons. Or do you enter at all? Does anyone in the party do anything?
Not currently.
Crag looks around the room to see if there's anything else of interest.
Crag. Crag goes ahead and shimmies past Ristvorn.
See, you did it again. You added a T in there.
I don't believe I did, but okay. Zale and Graham seem to be moving down the hall.
Okay, I'm gonna look under the domes.
Okay, as you begin to unclasp the domes one by one, you are somewhat disappointed to find nothing under each and every one of them until you come back around almost full circle from where you start to the bottom center one. And the bottom center one, there seems to be sitting one of the skulls. On that skull, there is another runic carving that seems to be representing the third quarter moon.
I guess we're collecting them.
Would apparently seem that way. The third quarter moon seems to simply sit on the plate, seeming almost happy, but then again, skulls are eternally smiling. At least in my mind. I can't look at a skull and not see a smile personally. Craig, as you would investigate for anything else of interest, you would find not more than what has already been pointed out. Just rather nice big old painting of the moon. Maybe
Graham will kind of take notice of we'll walk back over, seeing everyone walk in here and be like, look around. Oh, the phases of the moon. I know this. I know it very well.
Ristforn's going through this door.
Okay. Ristforn, once more.
Thanks for the tea.
Okay, whatever. Zyre, are you going any which way? Or are you sticking in the hall?
Zyre had to be AFK real quick. Sorry.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'll put Zyre with Sail then in case he gets ambushed. Speaking of which, Craig, while you are searching around, go ahead and give me a quick dexterity check.
One second, I can't read right now.
Take your time. There you go. As you are looking around, you catch just out of the corner of your eye one of the silver lids start to kind of like float up in the air and then sort of fling itself towards your head. You're able to duck under it. Afterwards, it simply falls to the floor with just a small metallic clanging as it hits the tiled floor. But other than that, doesn't seem like anything else seems to happen, though that is, of course, very strange. Ristforn, as you enter the door, you see the next room. Of course you would. And in this room, where's my reference? There's my reference. I got too many things open, I'm sorry. You find the servants' dining area. This 20 by 20 area has 2 long tables with benches that run from length to length of the room. At one point, the tables were laid out with platters of meat, vegetables, cheese, fruit, and bread, but it has all long since been very, very much spoiled. Now a blanket of mold and dust covers the former feast that was to be served. Someone appears to have gone through the trouble of setting up a dozen larger-than-life stone statues of rats throughout the room. 3 set up amidst the moldy food on the tabletops. 1 is on the bench, perched on its hind legs, with the 2 are set up on the floor under tables.
Guys, don't leave me to do everything.
Graham will look into the room and be like, should we break those considering that the rhino statues outside came to life?
I don't want to touch the mold.
Are the statues moldy?
They are not.
The rotten food?
Rotten food is, of course, moldy.
Only 3 of them are like standing in the like pile of rotten food, though.
Yes, that is correct.
Is there anything of significance that I can see from outside this room?
Not really. You can see from the outside, that is.
I
City
think
or-
we should make sure that door is closed.
Which door?
The door to the servants' dining area? Because again, there's a bunch of statues in there, and as we saw outside, those sometimes like to come to life and try to hurt us.
Good thinking. We should probably not enter that room.
Unless we have to, then I guess we will.
Ristvorn, your verdict, as you did, of course, open the door.
Smash them.
Okay.
I will stand here and I shall,
Well,
right,
actually, they're
so-
just
I'll
rats,
fire
aren't
an
they?
They are rats. But hold on. Ristvorn, you entered the room. City, you get back here. Ristvorn, you get back here. Nope, you... Ristvorn, you're gonna be right here, as you have triggered something by entering the room. Please stay in the doorway. On the inside of the door, as you have entered the room. As you enter the room, I hear you clicking. Okay, you didn't do anything. I need to pull up my things to read. As you enter the room, a pulse of magical energy is seen. And Ristvorn, you find yourself feeling a sort of strange spell overcoming you. Go ahead and give me a saving throw. What saving throw? Come on.
Probably Constitution.
Yeah, Constitution saving throw. Yep. Give me a Constitution saving throw against a sort of spell that seems to be going. See it. As you feel the spell going off, and you feel yourself becoming almost stiff, you seem to break away out of the room, pushing Graham back, just that you can get out. But as you do so, you notice that the rats seem to become from statues into normal dire rats. And they seem to continue about feasting upon the food as though they had been doing so this whole time.
Hey, what
Seem
kind of
none the wiser.
effect was it?
Hmm?
What kind of effect was it?
The spell?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't experience it, so you wouldn't exactly know. But you could tell by the way you resisted it that it was some form, quote unquote, of petrification.
Ah. Okay, don't go in there. Moving on.
So you are able to nicely close the door on the rats, leaving them to their little feast.
Sale kind of pushes Ristvorn aside and peeks in this next door.
Ristvorn, you have been taking a lot of doors. You
No, but nobody else is doing anything.
Well, Zale was
Huh?
about to go through the door if you would have just given a moment for the party to
I know, you literally just finished in that room to give me a chance to do anything, and I've been trying to get Craig
You walked
and
through
Zaire.
a wall to go straight to the next door. Anyways, Zale is opening the next door, which
What's
leads...
the horn dumber for?
The price is right. Anyways. You open up to the parlor. I didn't reveal it. I'm a dumb. Whoop. Inside the 25-foot by 20-foot room is filled with two ornate divans, several chairs and tables, although not quite properly seen. The walls of the room are entirely covered with mounted butterflies of all shapes and sizes and colors. Sitting on one of the tables is a jar which contains what appears to be 3 live butterflies. At the bottom of a jar is a golden yellow gemstone. You can tell just by the look and gleam of it, it is likely quite valuable.
I go and look at the jar with the butterflies.
I would
Didier
like
would
to
join
see if
us.
there's any kind of magical if there's anything magical about the jar or any kind of magical traps.
Your detect magic, what is that, 10 minutes worth time?
I can cast it anytime I want to.
I know, but it still costs you spell slots, so you don't
No, it
want
doesn't.
to be... I thought detect magic was a level 1 spell.
It's an
I have
invocation.
the warlock eldritch invocation arcane.
Okay,
sight,
okay,
so-
I got you. I don't
Okay.
know the class, so that's fine.
You're getting a sort of magical vibe from the entire room, but to be fair, you have been getting sort of magic vibes here and whatnot all about this manor, so it's hard to tell exactly what that is for. There definitely is magic about this room, as there basically has been. Well, I mean, some rooms yes, some rooms no. It seems to be on and off with this mansion.
Zale picks up the jar of butterflies and holds it up to his face, looking very intently at them.
The butterflies flutter around inside, very, neat and pristine. They occasionally flutter onto the sides of the glass, only to try
Something
and...
doesn't seem right about them.
Well, I was gonna say, how are they living without food?
Yeah, it also seems like an obvious trap with the gem down in the jar and they're in there.
We definitely
Seems
want
like
the
if
gem
you
though.
open it, something bad's gonna happen.
We can open it later.
Very true.
Or
We
we
could
could
probably give
do
it to Grieve in
this,
the jar.
and what we could do is this, and Zale takes his glaive and from 10 feet away smacks the jar off the table.
I was just gonna give it to Grieve. What's the butterflies doing it?
All right, as you smack the jar off the table with the glaive, it lands upon the ground and shatters just to the left of the table. And the gem is freed, as well as the 3 butterflies, as they suddenly flap up and into the air around the room. Sidir and Zale, give me a wisdom check.
We should have kept them, left them in a jar.
Right. You have both obtained 1 gem.
What?
I mean, not both of you, but you've obtained the shiny yellow gem from inside the jar.
Zale shrugs. Well, I guess we learned the lesson of the door. Just don't overthink things. He grabs the gem and puts it in his backpack. Moving on.
However,
No, for that.
As it becomes more and more apparent, especially once you start to take notice of all the butterflies that have simply been around the room, starting to flutter their wings, all more or less couple hundred of them, to be exact. They begin to take to the air, swirling around you, obscuring your vision. And though your vision is very much obscured, you do seem to notice from the as you're more or less being blinded by these butterflies simply flying around your face and actually causing an audible flutter. There do seem to be uh, 3 large things in the room with you now.
Oh.
Anyone trying to peek through the door simply just sees a wall of the butterflies. Craig, you step in. You step inside.
Yeah, after I
As
heard
you-
the crashing.
As you step inside, the butterflies begin to sort of like stream wave around you as they're flying, and you two find yourself more or less blinded in this room.
Are they being hostile at all?
Yes, actually. Go ahead and roll initiative. Anyone who's going to be entering the room.
Can I hear anything other than the fluttering?
No, actually, it's for butterflies. It's surprisingly loud, at least for people inside the room. Mainly because they are flooding literally around your face. They are right there, in your face and ears.
Ristforn's gonna sit here and eat some of his fish.
From your perspective, the doorway in is just like a wall of butterflies constantly flying past.
Ooh, pretty.
Yes, it's actually very, very entrancing.
So, since Graham hasn't heard any screams of horror or anything like that, probably because if they're being, he'll just kind of like sit by for the moment.
I guess combat has started.
Yep. All right. Combat. This is going to be kind of awkward with only the 3 of you. Also, the book lied to me, and there is not an NPC for this, but nonetheless, I have the stats for it listed elsewhere, so I will input as necessary. Do I hear... No, that's not Overwatch. I don't know why, but for a second I thought I heard Overwatch music.
Baldur's
Anyways.
Gate.
Not played that game. Anywho, the party is given a round. Wait, Graham, did you? Okay, Graham, you did roll initiative. I was a little confused there for a second.
Yeah, because if Graham hears anything going, if he does manage to hear anything going bad, he'll definitely jump in. So
Gotcha. All right, so Sidir, Craig, and Zale, and Rishtorn. Although blinded, the general presence of the creatures also has, various other things moving through the slipstream, as it would be. So, where's the tokens? Sorry. As such, oh, there they are. As such, you can tell that the 3 entities of sorts are to the above, left, and right of Zale. Shall be denoted by these tokens. Sidier, it is your turn.
Are these butterflies actually hostile?
Well,
Well, the
would
roll
be-
for initiative is probably a good indication.
you're being blinded. There are unknown entities in the room surrounding one of your friends. If you want to hesitate and question the situation, you are more than welcome to do so.
Nah. Can I raise my shield and target every butterfly within a 5-foot radius of me?
You may certainly try to. You may end up targeting Craig in that as well.
Alright. What do I roll to save on then?
What do you mean save?
To save, it's Word Radiance.
Oh, you're
Oh,
doing the word radiance.
you don't roll a save. The enemies roll a save.
Yes.
Yep.
You
But
just tell
Oh, right.
tell the GM what the DC is.
Yeah, what is the DC?
13.
Okay. Craig, roll. What's the roll for this? Constitution.
Constitution of a 13 or higher.
13 or higher. Okay. Craig, go ahead and roll Constitution since. Okay. Craig is perfectly fine. And give me damage real quick. 6 damage.
To every
so-
butterfly in the room.
Well, every butterfly in a 5-foot radius of you.
Yes.
So you actually do create a sort of clearing, especially for the front door as well. As for a good solid moment, all the butterflies seem to just sort of boom into more or less dust from the light. As you are then met with.
Would it hurt the creature next to me?
Yes, it would. That is 5 feet after all.
Did I roll it on him too?
You already rolled.
Oh.
I already rolled for that creature as well. It did not make the save, so it's taking the full damage.
Alright.
So and that's actually enough to kill it. Okay. You do see as the small butterflies clear out through like the initial blast. You see one of them much larger, like 4 feet large butterfly, sort of crumpled down and burn away as well. You now understand what you're fighting. It was looked like one of the 3 butterflies in the jar, actually. With that one dead, you are now left with the other 2. Delete that.
I'd pass my turn, but I can't.
Yep. Oh, right. I'll give you your turn. And
Okay.
pass it to Ristforn if... pass it to Ristforn. Ristforn, do you do anything with it?
So not only do you keep adding a T on my name, now you skip my turn?
That was actually my
I
fault. I clicked it and he clicked it at the same time.
Yeah. But you do have a clear view to the butterfly directly to the left of the... Well, to the right on the map, right after entering the door. You do have a clear line of sight to that one. Zale and
He's
the
gonna
rest of the
stay out
room-
of there, but he's gonna throw lightning.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a lightning attack. Right, that would absolutely hit. Go ahead and give me damage for that.
Damn.
Right, you do see the through the barrage of slipstream of butterflies, the larger butterfly kind of gives a sort of weird, sort of eeking noise as it recoils from the lightning strikes him to jitter slightly. Craig, your turn.
Zale
Good.
shudders in horror.
Craig swings his short sword at the butterfly closest to him.
Give me that roll. You hit. Give me damage. As you swing your blade into the jittering butterfly, I guess now it's a jitterbug. You slice through it with relative ease with your blade. Although it's not being your main profession of weapon, understanding that you use a bow, it does seem to cut straight through the beautiful creature, if not somewhat horrifying at this height, cleaving it straight in half as it falls back to the ground as well, leaving only one left in the room. Zale, it is your turn. If I can click, there we go. Remove it. There we go. Zale?
Sorry, mic was muted.
Right. So it is.
I
your
just
turn,
kind
Custer.
of take a step back and clear some space and swing at the butterfly. I do provoke an opportunity attack.
Yeah, that would. Well, yeah, okay. Zim. I need a critical.
Come on. Damn it.
What type of attack?
This would be. I believe that would be a slashing attack. It would be slashing with its big old legs.
That is a weird attack for a butterfly.
It is, but then again, whoa. You don't have many justifications for attacks for butterflies now, do you? It's weird that there's an enemy that is a butterfly at all.
Weakening slash. Quadruple damage, and you deal half damage on melee attacks for the next 1d8 rounds.
Oof. Well,
The
throw
you
that 1d8
being
up.
Zale.
That would be the next 3 rounds. You're dealing half damage, and for the damage you're taking, times 4?
We quadruple the dice.
Okay. Even with quadruple dice, Zale, your toughness shows through as you only take 8 damage. But you do now get to make your attack, Zale.
Okay. Since I guess I can't target it, I'll just do this.
Alright. As you get out of the, barrage of butterflies and take a sort of swing at your back, you do swing back into the array of butterflies, back to the location where you know the creature is, and hit it nice and hard. Okay. Wham. Even with halved damage, you are able to give a rather resounding blow through the wave of butterflies as you not only take out the butterfly itself, but you leave like a good window of a slash through the many butterflies flying around. As you can sort of see the glaive sort of slice through the head sideways, and it just kind of flumps over forward. Absolutely dead. The rest of the resounding butterflies that are fluttering around the room wildly seem to slowly somehow disperse. Not through the door, but just seem to slowly not be there anymore. As the walls
They
eventually...
cease to exist.
Yeah, just, when your head's turned, they're flying behind your head and they're just not there anymore. And eventually the room is left completely barren and empty, save for the 2 chairs, the table, the various other things around the room. The walls are empty, smashed glass from the jar on the floor. You have your gem, your shiny golden yellow rock. Is there anything else you're doing in this room now that combat has ended?
Wristforn's going and collecting the gem.
I think Zale's already picked it up.
I already have the gem.
Zale has already pocketed it, yes. You can search the room if you want, or if not, that's fine. You can continue on.
Craig searches around the room for anything else of interest.
Feel free to do so. Give me a
Graham
roll for
shall wait over by this door for everyone waiting to open it.
Alright, Craig, as you search around the room, you find yourself checking the cushions of one of the chairs and happen to find a rather fancy looking stick. Go ahead and give me an intelligence throw on that.
Dick.
The stick is in fact a wand.
Oh.
Craig yells out, "Does anyone have use for a wand?"
Graham will
Well,
yell
I
back,
mean-
I might!
Wristforn is also interested.
I mean, it depends
Figure
what
out what
it
it
does.
does first.
Pass it a wrist for him and he'll cast it somewhere.
Craig says that he'll sell it.
Wristforn will take it and try and determine what it does.
Alright. Craig, you let him take it. I assume you would, at least to examine it.
Yeah.
Alright, Wristforn, you can tell that this is a wand of magic missile with 7 charges remaining.
It's a wand of magic missile?
Yes. With 7 charges remaining.
And pocket it.
Do you... Okay. Craig, is there any response to this? As it seemed as though you wanted to sell it to the highest
Craig
bidder
asks
this
for
year.
Craig asks for gold.
You want gold?
Well, I found a fancy stick. And you want the fantasy stick.
I have a use for the stick.
You hear Zale called from down the hall, and she has use for gold. Or he, sorry.
I like gold.
This is a classic showing of supply and demand.
Fine, you may have a gold.
Craig grins and takes the gold and puts it in his bag.
Make sure you edit that on your character sheets real quick.
Alright, Graham.
One
I already
$1.
subtracted one.
Okay, lovely. Wristforn flings you a gold with his thumb and index finger, just flips into your hand, all fancy like. Anywho, Graham, you're opening this door?
Yeah.
Okay. Into the next room.
And I'm assuming Snowy hasn't seen anyone coming down anything or anyone coming down the stairs.
Snowy hasn't seen anyone or anything coming up or down the stairs, though the animals up front do feel, almost visibly nervous, especially Snowy.
Oh.
Yes.
I would be able to know why, because I'm like telepathically linked to Snowy, I would think.
Some sort of almost ethereal force has installed, I believe it's specifically fright, is the status effect?
Huh. Well, I suppose whatever did that can see invisible things, so...
Ah, yes,
This is a very large mansion.
You know, it is. They are frightened, though. For Snowy, it at least seems to pass fairly quickly. But the animals are getting a big spook. Anyways, the door you are walking into. That is the kitchen. Let me just check my reference again. 7. Yes, that's the kitchen. The 15 by 35 foot room once served as the Manor's kitchen, as can be seen by various tables and countertops that aren't seen in the map for whatever reason. And trust me, this is the best map I could find.
They just fold up into the wall.
They do, yes. They're magical. Everything here is magical. The room, several large tables and a large fireplace dominates the rightmost wall. There's a large collection of cooking utensils and pans. A row of clay jars rests on the shelves along the leftmost wall. Sitting on the largest of the tables is a wooden bowl containing 3 oddly colored apples. There's a bright blue apple, a bright red apple, and one that is yellow. There is a narrow stairwell that leads up to the second floor in this room as well, and a door on the right wall, as you can see. That oh no, not to the right. That's the one that's below you all. That seems to lead to another area, and one that seems to lead outside. You can tell it leads outside as through the various cracks and creaks of this door. Unlike the front door, it's less well kept, but you can definitely tell it leads outside by the various breeze and the little creaks and cracks of green you can see, that being of the wildly rampant vegetation outside.
Do I hear the snorting of the rhinos outside still?
If you would move up to the door and take a listen, you could definitely try to.
Nah, Graham's not that interested in it. Okay, I guess we open up this next door then.
What's behind door number 6?
All right, not doing anything with the brightly colored apples.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I forgot that those are a thing because they're not on the
Yeah.
map. All right,
Yeah,
I guess
my
yeah.
apologies.
I'll go
There.
check out. I'll check out the apples.
Right. You of course would notice that the apples do seem to be somewhat magical in nature. Another form of eldritch enchantment on them. Again, one is red, one is blue, which is odd for an apple, and one is yellow. Not terribly odd, but they do seem very bright in their color palette, almost like paint.
I'll look around. Is there anything to indicate like some kind of like any kind of color? Since I know those are like.
No, the room is rather dreary browns and grays of stone and wood all about, not to mention the general grays and blacks of the pots, pans, and various bits of silverware here and there. It's nothing too interesting of a room to look around at. There's not even a painting on the wall. It's a dreary abode. These are the only things of color, and they certainly do draw the eye. Especially given their brightness. Bright colors like these are somewhat rarely seen. Sometimes in, of course, fancy silks and whatnot, but in fruit like this, definitely not regular.
Graham will call the others over to see if they got any input on this.
Everyone, you see the bowl of bright-colored fruit?
Sayo looks at Crag. What's your opinion?
Crag goes up and smells them to see if he can get any nature things off of it.
Smells like an apple. It's actually not rotted. Perfectly healthy apple.
Crag says they smell fresh and like an apple.
Zale pokes Zaire. What do you think?
I don't think we should eat them, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
Considering everything else we touch has some semblance of her wanting to hurt us.
Christopher's gonna go up and sniff at the blue one.
Much to the effect of Craig, you smell what would be an apple. Unpeeled, still fresh. Nothing particularly interesting about it from the smell, at least.
He's
It's an
gonna
apple.
pick it up.
All right. As you do pick up the blue apple, your fur turns blue.
Oh.
Zale snickers.
Interesting.
What other colors are there?
He's gonna go pick up the red one.
As you pick up the red one, your fur turns red.
He's holding both of them still.
Ah. Then a strange sort of effect would occur where half of your body would go to blue and half of your body would go to red.
Okay.
Split straight down the middle as to whoever the point between them is.
And now he's
most,
going to pick up the green one.
There is not a green one.
What was the other color?
There's red, blue, and yellow. So there's a
Okay,
yellow one
he's gonna
still.
pick up the yellow.
All right, how are you picking up the yellow one with both your hands occupied?
It's a tail, of course.
You do know that you can hold multiple things.
These are big apples.
And I can carry 3 cups in 2 hands.
So are you storing?
You have...
Well,
okay, so between your thumb and your index finger, you have one round object, such as the green and blue apples. Or sorry, blue and red apples. And then between the rest of the 3 fingers, I am holding the yellow one. Both hands have to stay together, obviously, or it doesn't work, but that's just kind of how you do it, you know?
okay. Well, whatever sort of apple you kind of put on the third, like between the 2 hands.
All 3 are being held by both hands.
Right. Whichever one you have to like kind of put between the hands. Whichever one is least dominantly held by both hands, its color kind of gets more or less snuffed out, but still kind of continues down the fingers, down the arms a little bit. The colors don't seem to mix, but seem to be very straightly separated, as each of them are trying to do their own effect separately. They don't mix.
Zale mentions that he hopes that's not a permanent effect.
Wristford's gonna set them all down.
Consider pick up the blue one.
As you set them all down, you notice that the effect stays.
Oh.
Good to know.
What
Wristford's
consider you
gonna
picked up
pull
the
out a
one?
knife and try cutting into the blue one.
No.
Right, as you cut into the blue apple, the knife turns blue.
Oh.
The apple is cut open, and it's more or less a plain apple on the inside, though it is also blue on the inside. Just purely blue. But it does act and behave like an apple. There's still some juices that come out, though those juices are purely blue.
He's
I
going
vote we kick the
to
clown out of the party.
he's going to cut off a slice of each, a small one. And holding all 3 together, he's going to eat all 3 together at once.
Oh. Sidier's just gonna pick up the blue one.
Okay. I assume Sidir would try to pick up the blue one before Ristforn would eat them.
He's eating small bits of it. I'm taking the rest of it.
Okay, gotcha.
Color
Alright.
theory, guys.
Right. So as you eat the bits of it, your fruit is a sort of weird, like, I'm not sure how to explain this properly, but like peering out from your throat in like a sort of almost 80s fashion sense of like triangles and all whatnot as the various effects flow through your body, trying to separate colors. You're basically left as this sort of like modern art simplificated, like, minimalistic walking art piece of red, yellow, and blue. All the lines do seem to converge at your stomach. When you were eating them, they seem to like go from your mouth and now converge at your stomach. It will be interesting to see where they converge later. Anyways, Sidier, when you pick up the blue one, you turn the shade of blue that the apple is.
Ah.
Zale states out to Zyre first to kick the clan out of the party, and second if Zyre wants to handle the next door. That is directly next to her and Graham.
Well, Risforn's gonna go try the door. He's bored of the apples now. He doesn't really seem to care that his fur's changed colors.
Fair enough. At the same time, I can't help but think of just, Risforn walking around. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. But just because of the art style that he is in now. Of just broken colors. As you try the door, you open it slightly to be met with the horn of a rhinoceros kind of blocking the door and a loud sort of huff of air coming from its nostrils, as it seems to be just kind of sitting in the way of the door, blocking you, almost like kind of waiting for you menacingly.
I'm gonna reach out and try to rub its snout, the top.
As you kind of reach out and rub its snout / horn, it shakes its head more or less violently, not seeming to be necessarily,
Was worth a shot. I close the door. Okay, so that's back outside.
Was the rhino still there?
Yep.
Yeah, you could all hear the sort of like big old exhale of breath that definitely did not come from Risforn. As you move to the next door, Zyre and Graham. Zyre, do you wish to take the next door as Zale stated?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to open it.
Okay. Zyre moves up, taking the lead in the party. Anywho, as you open the door, okay.
Small room.
He's
I was
small,
gonna
yes.
say, what did we find? Weird Al Yankovic on the other door? Other side?
I was going for Legend of Zelda, but you open the door in the east wall of the kitchen. East wall? That's absolutely wrong. No, that's right. I'm stupid. And the east wall of the kitchen, discover an impenetrable darkness beyond. It's just a wall of dark.
Can I use my echolocation?
Pardon?
I want to use my echolocation to get a view of.
Oh, thank you for the sound effect. Yeah, you may actually go ahead and do that. You are built very well with this. As you sort of give a little meh, or whatever. I can't do this. I can't do a freaking screech without, getting noise complaints. Just think
Let's do it once.
Your voice bounces around. You kind of shut your eyes to maintain that focus of letting your ears do the sightseeing for you, as you're very well trained in doing. You can tell that there are shelves that seem to be various food items here and about. Um, Jars, sacks, all that very much. On the back shelf, there seems to be a large assortment of jars and various bottles. Uh, Likewise, sitting right next to the bottles, actually, you can also tell to be the shape of a skull.
All right, I'm gonna go and grab that.
All right. As you step inside, using your echolocation, which you're very well attuned to handle this room in particular, you walk up to the skull and easily grab it. You
All right.
look around or try to check anything else in the room. There is no sight at all with any sort of. Don't you have low light vision?
I have dark sight.
You have dark sight, like complete dark sight.
But I don't. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, if you have dark vision, then you can see in
No,
everything
even
but non-magical darkness.
yeah, no. This is advanced darkness.
No, I'm
Even-
just gonna take the skull back out to the party so we can have a good look at it.
All right, as the skull is returned to the party, you notice that this is the skull of the full moon.
Sounds like we're missing
Ooh.
one then.
Now we
I'm guessing that
just
one
need,
goes to the guy closest to the painting.
I think we just need 4 more now.
So you do have.
I'm guessing upstairs is our next objective.
You have searched out the rest of the first floor.
Also, we gotta watch our time, I think.
Yes, like I said, this is probably going to be a sort of two-parter, which I'm all right with.
Right.
As you do take the skull back out to the party, the crow sort of looks around at the rest of you. He'd been, of course, lingering at the back of the party, and he says, "I could." He gives a sort of thumb back gesture over his shoulder. Just put those in the room if you want.
I have completely
know where to put
forgot
them?
that you were here.
You've been quiet. You haven't sang any songs.
Oh yeah. Rizfarn's gonna go back into the room here. Hang on, I got a present for you. He's gonna grab the yellow one and come out and give it to the crow.
Right, as you grab the yellow one, the arm holding the yellow becomes more dominantly yellow against the pieces that are inside of you, of course. As you come out and toss it to him, he sort of like would you toss it to him or hand it to him or?
I
hand
push
to
it
him?
into his hand.
Okay, as you push it into his hand, he kind of like accepts it with much confusion. Strangely enough, nothing seems to happen when you push it into his hands. He just kind of looks at the half-cut apple and back to you and seems to be very much confused.
Interesting. He'll take it back and then just hold it out.
The crow blinks at you a few times and cocks his head to the side. What?
Here.
What?
I approved of this chain.
You just handed it to me. What?
Yes, just here.
It's an apple.
Take it.
He seems ever so confused as he just casually reaches forward and gently with 2 fingers picks the yellow piece of apple out of your hands. Nothing still seems to happen, however.
I I think he might be connected to this building.
No, I think he's got plot armor. Hmm. Hey, Zale! Risforn's gonna take the apple back. Zale!
Gives
Zale!
it back, so confused.
Zale!
What?
Here. Here,
So you're
take
gonna
this.
eat the whole blue apple.
Zale flips his glaive in his hand and uses the butt end to knock the apple as far away from him as possible.
So you're just gonna eat the whole blue apple.
Well, fine. Risforn's gonna pick it up and go out and find Zale's mount.
Question: Did tapping the apple with the butt of his glaive turn his glaive yellow?
If anything, he would have smacked the back end of Ristforn's hand to do that.
Yes. Although
there
it is entirely possible that it would have accidentally touched the apple.
It's
Is there any
possible, but I don't want-
repercussions?
I don't
for
want to
eating?
have to keep track of how many things have changed colors here. But no, you eat the blue.
You're the
you eat
one that
blue apple.
introduced it.
I am per.
And now we have no explanation or solution to fixing this. So Risforn is experimenting. It's your
enough.
fault.
You know, Graham
Hey.
will tap a dagger on one of the apples to see if they still have their effect.
It still has its effect when Graham taps the apple with the knife. Subsidiaries, you eat the blue apple. Your insides, your outsides. You're very much blue. All of your scales are blue. Everything about you is blue except for your
I'm
armor.
blue, tabba-dee-dabba-da.
So
Grant-
I'm not much different.
Grant gives a bit of a
Beneath
death stare
guy.
at the crow.
Go King, what you're saying is I'm not much different.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're very blue now. You're like deep blue.
Your lighter portions are the same color as.
Yeah, you are a monochrome blue right now. Everything is the same shade as blue. There is no
Amazing.
defining characteristics.
This is great.
So there's something wrong with that crow.
Risforn's offering the apple to Zale's mount. Visitara.
For it to eat.
Yes.
Yeah,
let's see what-
Visitara doesn't have any hesitation. It takes food when it's offered.
What color is it?
Yellow.
Okay. As you hold it out, as Visitar just kind of like, and eats it, it becomes yellow.
I
Risforn
approve
is
this
satisfied with this.
Sidier's gonna clap and be
Oh, wait.
approvable of this.
He's gonna go get the red one as well and feed that to Visitara.
We can make a candy cane now.
Well, no, it wouldn't be candy cane. It would be like broken triangulation type deal.
He's
It
gonna feed
eats-
the red one to Visitara too.
It eats it, and it is now a sharp, broken mess of orange and yellow. I'm sorry, red and yellow.
So that's
Zale!
one way to paint the fur.
Zale! Zale!
What?
I think I broke Visitara.
Visitar looks like
What?
freaking.
Zale like comes running.
Visitar looks like the old Japanese flag.
Zale just kind of sits there with his jaw open for a couple of seconds.
You
What
were
to
saying that we
do?
were going
and
to
he
kick out.
just swings the back of his glaive at Ristforn's head.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll for that.
I mean, Risford was definitely expecting this outcome, though his acrobatics are still bad.
Wait. If I touch your tip of your glaive, I can make it glow forever.
What? Okay, roll me damage non-lethal.
Just let's not even bother. It's fine.
Duration.
Yes, I
until the
smack
spell-
Ristforn over the head, and I'm happy now.
I'm gonna touch Zale's glaive tip and make it glow forever.
Will everyone stop doing things without my permission?
Yeah, I'm sure you could think of some way how to make Sidiera roll attack against your glaive?
No, yeah.
No, so what I think you're failing to understand about that, Eisen, is it's a buff that buffs your attack.
What does?
The curse thing that he's talking about. So if you
What?
cast it on somebody, it buffs their attack to have that curse on their attack.
We're talking about continual flame. This is just like
I-
your blade is constantly on fire now.
Nope. Yeah, I get
Eisen was talking about his curse thing for a little bit. That's what we were talking about.
No, I wasn't. Not at
it
all.
causes-
I said you could have. I'm said I since you don't want Sidier to be touching your glaive. If you don't want Sidier to be touching your glaive, Sidier might have to roll an attack roll.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you said something about putting the curse on me as well.
Nope,
All right,
just
let's
I
reel-
wouldn't
let's-
waste my
guys,
curse on you.
Guys, hello. DM speaking. Hi, my name's Gold King. Let's reel it back in for a moment and try to get this back on the rails. Is anyone doing anything that isn't related to color apples?
I'm making Zell's glaive a torch.
Alright,
I,
Rizforn's gonna go up the stairs.
I follow Risforn up the stairs.
Wristforn, the amazing Technicolor.
I
No,
am
he's
not
upstairs with me.
a T!
I said Technicolor Dreamcoat, not Wristforn.
There, you said Wristforn.
I don't know how you guys even recognize this. It completely goes over my head every time.
Zale hears
Yeah,
it.
I never hear it.
I hear him. I hear him say sometimes he'll say wristforn very clearly, and sometimes when he's hurried, he'll do a kind of a wristforn, and then there's a very clear T in there.
Oh.
Shush. I'm gonna ban you from my Minecraft server, okay?
You mean your Christian Minecraft server?
No, it's very much not
But
Christian.
Zim,
if you know
you
me.
are Nyamba one.
What the heck was that? Okay. Anywho, we're moving up to the second floor. Craig, what are you doing?
Sorry, I forgot to move my token.
Right, no, it's okay. I just was like, hey, you're gone for the rest of the party. Get back here. Get over here. Anyways, for the second floor, just gotta get the map open. Gotta map. Oh, gotta get open the map. Here we go. Well, I'm sorry. I thought you would enjoy the adventure up to the second floor. Let me just make sure that everything is nice and clear when you first enter. Perfect.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Who doesn't love Star Wars? Alright, I'm gonna slap you all down there and you can put yourselves where you feel necessary. Just, you know, so long as it's within reason. Snowy Schmo. McCann's not here. Don't know why he's in the combat tracker. Get out. And Kai and Visitara. Rishborn, I'm going to tell you right now, that's a spot you specifically don't want to be in. Get over here. Whoop. I made a line. Oh, we gotta start over.
I mean, it's not like we can really make out anything from that line.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I can maybe see what looks like a giant round table, maybe?
Okay, yeah, no, you have no clue. Good. It's weird for me because I can see everything, and I'm like, oh no, they're gonna know it's absolutely that from that 2 pixels.
It's actually 4 pixels. No, it's 3 pixels.
From those 3 pixels. Anywho. As you enter the next floor. You come
Am
into
I
the second.
buried under somebody?
Possibly. Let me go ahead and take.
No, you're still stunned about your red and yellow mount.
Oh yeah, no, you're not. You're actually not there. You are right.
Ride her.
let me-
Ride her all night long.
Okay, taking
Yeah.
it from funny into creepy.
Yeah, gonna have to ask you to kick it back a notch there, Zim. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing. I will state right now, this is absolutely going to be something that goes into next week. So we'll do a few more little rooms and discoveries before we continue on. I mean, end for the day, that is. Whenever you feel is best once we finish a room, Zim. Anywho, as you enter the second floor hallway, at the top of the stairs, the hallway runs the entire length of the west side of the manor. There must be an open window nearby as there's a slight breeze in the air. So you feel. And as you move your way up here, you see all the way down to here. And you take note of the staircase that leads back down to the kitchen. Sorry, let me make the walls visible. There you go. And you are left with this hall. There's nothing else of major note. Unless, is anyone moving anywhere? Or what are you doing, if anything, in this room?
I decide to go investigate this. I feel like there is a line of this room that I just know already. I don't know why I know it, but I do. So I'm gonna go see the rest of it. Yes, a line in this room that I just know already.
There was just a hole in that wall, so you could see
a
through
little
the
peephole.
wall a little bit.
However,
Magic blocks the door.
and no, strangely enough, magic blocks the whole way. Once you actually try to move past, and actually move you back a little bit. This point here, Ristforn, with you charging in first as always, you are met with a large gust of wind as a sort of spell seems to trigger once you start walking so far down the hall. I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw. And that'll go for Sidier, Zale, and Crag as well. Zyre and Graham being that far back, you don't have to worry about it.
Can I block it with my shield?
No.
Sorry, dex roll?
Yes. Dex or strength, actually. Either, whichever one you feel works best for you. As you can try to, like... Okay. So all of you getting this big gust of wind blasting upon you suddenly, you're all able to either properly brace or simply stand against it. As you proceed forward, sort of kind of toughing it out, all four of you at least. Ristforn, you're pretty sure there's a big old window open somewhere and it's like storming outside or something. It's a very, very gusty window. If only you could find it.
I would like to do some Arcana checking.
You may go ahead and do so. Graham, you on the other hand, lickety split with those good old magic eyes. You instantly recognize that this is a gust of wind spell that isn't actually being casted per se by anyone individually. It seems to be almost being casted by the house and the weird magical ongoings that are happening inside of it, specifically back down this hall.
Hey guys, the house is casting magic at us.
Yeah. You're crazy.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
You know, I'm a little curious now. I wanna poke one of the walls with a dagger.
Okay, you may go ahead and do so. Any specific wall that you're doing that to?
I'll do it to this wall.
Okay, as you plunge your dagger into the wood, you leave a nice little mark of splayed wood. It kind of clashes with the rest of the wall as it hasn't been properly, finished on the inside of the wood. But as you're doing that, Ristforn, Sidir, Zale, and Craig, you're able to slowly move forward step by step, if you so choose.
So nothing weird happened whenever I stabbed the building.
Nah,
The building isn't a giant mimic or something.
it is not. So that's a great idea that I will probably save for later. May
Can
God
I
have
prepare
mercy on your
myself for
soul.
another gust of wind?
You may do so, but the gust of wind that kind of currently went off is still going. You've just made a check against it, and you're moving forward slowly, but you're moving forward.
Okay, I use my shield to displace or deflect it from myself.
I mean, it's kind of a force bigger than you that's simply trying to push you back. If anything, that would probably help it, as it would give you more wind resistance.
I guess depending on how I slant it up.
Graham will like just run downstairs and come back up. Try coming back up the other side. He'll ask Zaire if he wants to come with him.
Yeah, I'll come
Zaire,
along for that.
All right, so Graham and Zaire, you're both going to the other side of the room.
Yep.
All right. Whoop.
Risforn. Oh, they went down and around?
Yes.
Yep.
Risforn has another idea. So he's stuck right there? Can't get past
Well,
here?
you're not stuck. You're still able to move forward. It's just a lot slower because you're constantly fighting the wind. But you are able to move forward if you want to. Just continue to move forward like one
Risforn's
space at a
going to
time.
start throwing lightning at this wall.
All right, you throw lightning at the wall.
Wait, the wall's made of wood, right?
Yep.
Over
Yes.
and over, trying to blast a hole through.
Can I just bash a hole into it?
All right.
He'll step back and let you.
Can I ram it?
I'm gonna need you to make some additional checks here to be able to do something sideways in the wind, as it is very awkward, given that the wind is trying to blow you.
Can I move back here and start and push it that way?
Oh yeah, there's this little area right here. We'll just go through that.
All right, you certainly can. That you were still making progress down the main hall, but yeah. Also for
They're gonna make a new
Ram
door.
and Zaire, I'm gonna show you this little bit of hallway there that is available. Graham and Zaire, you are not affected by the wind there.
Right, let's see. I'm gonna send Snowy this way and see if the wind tries to stop Snowy from.
The wind does indeed try to stop Snowy.
So it does notice that even though Snowy is invisible, it does notice Snowy still.
Yes.
Okay.
It's seems to almost be triggered. That's a
Alright.
trap.
Yep. Alright, should we... Is this a door to the right of Graham?
Yes, that is infected door.
All right. I'll yell at the others. Hey, there's doors over here. Maybe we can stop the wind. Go down and around.
We can't hear them.
Yeah, they can't because of all the gusting wind. It's very hard to hear with wind blowing into your ears, especially when your ears are almost made to catch wind.
Go, City Air, go! New
Let's roll our
door.
strength. What do you want me to roll? Strength?
Yeah, if you're just trying to like bash the door down. Zale and Craig, you can continue going down the hall since you made your checks.
Yeah, I kind of step in front of Crag and block a lot of the wind for Crag, and we push forward, I guess.
Okay. Do so, you get to this hall. City here, you ran the wall twice, I assume?
Yeah.
And you're starting to put a good old, big old dent crack in it. It is kind of awkward since you are also like right over the banister of the stairs here. So like as you would charge that wall, be careful not to fall over. As you do weigh quite a bit, you'd actually fairly easily fall over that banister and just straight up break it. Especially in the state of disrepair it is in currently. All the floorboards and whatnot are of course creaking and
The rail break out, open the wall pretty easily.
Oh yeah, it's almost gone. But as you've already taken 2 turns at that, Graham and Zyre, what are you guys doing?
I'll ask Zyre. So should we wait for everyone else, or should we go back over there? I mean, it seems to be okay here, but
We're having technical
think
difficulties on our side.
separating from the party will be super wise.
Say again, Zyre?
We're having technical difficulties on our side.
Ah.
Best time.
Well, I'm guessing because of that, Zyre is going to have them wait.
Yep.
Zale, as you move forward with Craig, I'll just say that Craig kind of sticks behind you. What do you do as far as this hall goes? As you do get to the entrance of this hall, the wind sort of seems to subside. But you can still kind of hear it blowing both in front of you and behind you. Zale?
Sorry, go. Sorry.
No.
I'll wave to Zale.
Did you hear anything I just said?
Sorry, no, I was dealing with something else.
Okay. As you get to this middle area, the wind to your left and right seems to sort of subside. You can still hear it, whooshing and blowing, but you in this middle section seem to have, gotten past the worst of the quote-unquote storm, and are free to enter this middle hallway as you see fit, with the 4 doors leading down it, of course.
And Graham waves to you.
Yes, Graham is waving to you.
I wave back and turn the corner, and I guess I go to this
Craig will be following you for all intents and purposes.
first door and peek in it, I guess.
All right.
That's City Air bashed through the door when he opens it.
You see a bedroom. Let's see. Whoop. Jump the shark. Here we go. You see a guest bedroom. This 15 by 20 foot bedroom contains a bed, dresser, and chair, all of remarkable quality. The item of furniture that captures your attention is the ornate chest sitting in the northwest corner. It seems to be made of a reddish hue and is bound in copper. The motif of a horse is carved on the lid, which you can see rather nicely.
Zale reaches into his backpack, pulls out a hammer, and starts knocking at the lock with it.
Wait, what?
I have a hammer.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're moving toward. You move over to the chest.
Right.
All right. As you do so, you would begin to, upon reaching the far side of the room, you would feel momentarily dizzy, and your vision begins to sort of blur. After a strange moment, you find yourself standing in the, you look around, and the entire room around you is absolutely massive. It's as though you have shrunken down to the size of a toy. As Crag has been following you, he would experience the same thing. Give you back.
Zale looks around and he's super confused.
You have the giant chest in front of you. You're still holding your tools. They still fit in your hands perfectly, but just you're tweeny. You're very tweeny.
One more go, Sidier. Do it. Through the wall.
I think by this point, Graham probably would have started heading back over to the other side to see what the others were up to.
Right, you may absolutely do so. As Sidier charges the wall and she bursts through, for Zale, you see a rather interesting display of wood just simply exploding out, raining down upon you as it's just sort of,
So is this like a dex
explodes.
save to not get impaled by shards or what?
Hide under the bed.
You know those movies where they're like, blot out the sun with your arrows, except this is wood splinters.
Yeah, no. You go ahead and give me a dex save.
Apparently, Crag's response was to shrink.
Yeah, all your responses are to shrink right now.
Rizforn just kind of looks through the opening. Oh, yeah!
I should have said that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was surprised you didn't.
As you do look through the opening, you seem kind of confused as Sidier does not seem to be visibly there for a moment. You'd have to roll a perception check.
Sidier probably
Rizforn was like
Zale
right there
starts
whenever.
yelling in this little tiny
Okay.
squeaky
One
voice.
at a time. One at a time. All right, as you do look down amongst the wood where you would believe you would see Sidier lying, you kind of squint a little in soft surprise as you see Sidier to be about the size of one of the shards of wood. You are able to pick her out because of her very much blue, colors and whatnot. Likewise, you are actually also able to make out Zale and Crag.
Oh my god, you're all so adorable!
Zale is jumping and waving his arms and yelling in this tiny little squeaky toy voice. Don't come in here.
You
Graham will
can't
see-
hear them. Rizforn cannot hear them, by the way. This is for at this point, it's like the equivalent of yelling at a 2-story building for you guys.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Rizforn can
I
kind
would
of
like to roll
surmise.
Because I got the rabbit ears.
Fair enough.
Rizforn's gonna go behind and push Graham
Dangle
in.
your ears in there.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, that was
Wow.
bad.
Rizforn's
You
looking.
need a strength.
Graham was not standing there.
Yeah,
Are we
no,
gonna get like attacked by a house spider?
Rizforn's pushing him in.
Oh, Rizforn is straight up pushing you in, Graham. You're gonna need to make a either
But how
an
do you
acrobatic
Not
save or
the
something.
spot I was already in to begin with. I was a good 10 feet away from that hole in the wall.
Because I stepped out and around and started pushing you.
Well, I resist the pushing.
That's what
Yeah,
we're
but-
saying. Give a goddamn roll.
Zara, you can
I'll
actually.
use acrobatics to kind of just slip
Yeah, no.
through the
I
pushing.
was gonna have you do acrobatics anyways. One at a time, jeez. Let the DM respond. Graham does a freaking matrix flips over you. Like, you start to push him towards the wall, and then he, like, kind of hops up, puts one of his feet on, like, one of the still remaining, you know, actual stable parts of the wall, kick flips around, and then jumps up behind you. Nothing
Don't
personal,
do
kid.
that.
Is there anything on the ground that we should be aware of?
Yes,
Considering-
I mean, does Zyro and or Wristborn enter the room? I'm just
No.
seeing if anyone else is good for this. No?
'Cause I was just like, I'm already small enough. I'm not going in there.
Then let us commence the battle of a house spider.
Yeah.
I would like to throw a rope into the room and be like, "Hey guys, just if you can, see if you can't tie this around the chest, and then I can pull you all out."
That's not a bad idea.
As you toss the rope in there, there's a big old thud next to the three of them as, you know, rope that's, you know, about the size around, you know, circular wise, from, like, you know, circumference. That's the word I'm looking for. The circumference of the rope is about the size of your, you know, whole body.
Wait,
you
would it
move
really
to-
be
Does
that?
this mean that their gear didn't shrink?
No, their gear shrunk.
Well, then why didn't the rope shrink?
Because the rope is not attached to someone.
The rope is being thrown by you guys out there. He's saying that
Fair
the rope
enough.
is nearly as big as us.
Fair enough.
I would have thought they would have been a little bit bigger than that. So, never mind. How big are they?
6 inches.
Okay, so
They're about 6 inches tall right now.
That is, wow, really big as my fish.
You guys are literally like freaking Toy Story right now. But the big old rope floops in right in front of you
well,
guys.
if they're that
you-
small, then I wouldn't. I don't think I probably would have done
As
that.
you can move up to tie the rope around the chest.
Attempt
Is
to,
this the
anyways.
thing like with ants, where we're super strong compared to our size, or what?
No, I mean you can move the rope. It's not that heavy.
It's as big as them now.
It is. That is true. But the weight of a rope really isn't that much.
You'd be
Well,
surprised.
I mean,
Then you're strong.
Fine, okay.
Well,
give us a
Sail
combined
grabs in
strength
the
check.
air, and we get to work on tying the rope to something on the chest.
Of course, tying the rope is a very, very difficult task with your various heights and whatnot. You need to...
Okay, what you guys should do, because it's like a 50-foot rope, you wrap it around the chest and then bring the other end out to us.
That'd work.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, I get to sit here and we do that. And then we sit on the rope while they pull.
Alright, so it takes, honestly, almost a good hour to, like, actually properly get this thing tied up. Because, again, you need to, like, it's... I'll see you... I mean, you can definitely move it. You're strong enough to move it. It just takes time and a lot of effort. But nonetheless, you do eventually get the rope around everything. And at that point, you would, in fact, not be terribly surprised to hear skittering
Mhm.
as you notice coming from the bed, from under the pillow, there comes a very long, very creepy, crawly centipede.
Centipedes are awesome.
Centipedes are awesome.
I would like to Eldritch Blast the centipede. That's gonna be like a like
Except
the
you'd
sun that-
notice it.
I was
Oh,
gonna
good
say, you guys probably wouldn't even notice it.
Well, I
That's
got
what-
really
right
I got
now,
really
wrist
good,
form is like
hearing.
wrist form is like the. Well, I mean, you can't hear this thing. They can hear the skittering because they're like the same size as it, so it's like, a big old skeleton walking towards them. But for you, it's like, meh.
But I also get like giant rabbit ears too.
Bram, he said you don't hear it.
Alright,
Yeah,
alright.
yeah, that's even with that good of a professional perception check. My apologies. You don't hear it or properly see it.
Well, that could still be for like, oh, so I don't see it either.
Yeah, it's creeping around right now.
Alright.
But of course, the main party on the rope does see it. And now the question lies: do we leave this off on a cliffhanger, or do we continue with combat?
Well, we are
I
out
don't
of
think
time,
we have time
so
for combat.
it is cliffhanger.
All right then. As the party is about to continue
Now,
out with their chest.
Real quick, somebody should redeem influence to make this permanent for Zale.
You bastard.
I will give a quick little shout out.
Go for the eyes!
There's a game-breaking influence.
Wait, someone did give an influence for this to be permanent?
Yep.
It is blue. It was
Yeah,
blue
no.
queen.
I'm gonna have to deny that, unfortunately.
Wait.
What?
Well, I'll have him do it next week.
Okay. Also a quick shout out to Woof. Sorry about that. A little shout out to Mr. Digimarth. He put in a ethereal influence for today. It has not gotten around to it yet. I did have a spot picked out for it. It will show up next week. I do apologize for the delay, but it will be showing up relatively soon. In fact, it's going to be showing up almost first thing next week when we continue.
For now, though, everyone, thank you all so much for joining us for Tales of Miraleth, Dungeons and Dragons. We will be back next week with more. I will be back tomorrow with Diablo 3, followed by Fire Emblem 3 Houses. So do come on by for that. Thank you all so much for coming by. Thank you to my patrons, donators, and subscribers. Because of you, I am able to keep bringing you this content. Seriously, I cannot do it without you. For now, though, thank you for watching, and I bid you all a very fond adieu.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Goodbye.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for coming out.
Good night, everyone. Be safe.